Welcome back to another edition of the Miles High Club. We are having a great time. It's week 7, lucky number 7. We got the Ravens and the Bills on the bye. You know both teams need it right now. I mean, injuries are not great for both of these teams, but enough about them. Before we get into it, you got to pay the bills. Game Face Grooming. Have you got yours yet? Have you got yours yet? I mean, this is a cleansing. You saw deodorizer last week because you know who stinks. The Eagles. But let's get into the picks. I'm super excited. I think this week's gonna be an interesting one. I think we're trying to get like 12, 13 here, correct? I think that's where we're at this week. I think I have a decent week lined up for me to a decent amount of these, right? So I got the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Cincinnati Bengals, Thursday Night Football. This is going to be a good game. The Icy Hot Bowl, Old Heads Bowl, the 2015 Bowl. There's so many other names for this. It's going to be super exciting. Joe Flacco is going to put the ball in the air. Pittsburgh Steelers, I might take the over in this just because I think it's going to be points after points after points on the here. So, I'm super excited to watch this game. And but even though the offense is going to look a little better for the for the Cincinnati Bengals, I can't have them beating the Pittsburgh Steelers. I just can't because their defense is just not that good. And I think T.J. Watt's probably going to get after Joey Flacco. And they'll probably might want to take that interception, maybe anytime interceptions. I'll do over on that for Joe Flacco because I don't think that the Steelers are going to fold against these guys, even though it's in Cincinnati. But I got the Pittsburgh Steelers winning here, and it's going to be better than you think. Then we got the LA Rams going into Jacksonville. This is going to be a good one. I'm not too sure, this game could be very high scoring or very low scoring because I don't I could see someone scoring over 30 or this game being no one scores over 20 because I watched the Rams last week. I was at the Ravens-Rams game last week. Their offense without Puka, it's rough. I mean, honestly, I'm not too sure how I feel about their team personally against the Rams. Jaguars against the Rams. And actually, I have circled here. I'm doing Audible. Very first time Audible. I actually have the Rams circled on my paper. But I'm taking the Jaguars. I am doing an Audible right now. I am taking the Jaguars to beat the Rams this week. And I only do it because of health. I think the Jaguars defense is going to get after Matt Stafford. The Rams did not look great without Puka Nacua. I talked myself into it. I'm taking the Jacksonville Jaguars beat the Rams. And I don't think it's going to be a good one. It's no disrespect to the Rams. Then I got the Saints going into Chicago. Not much being said here. I like this. The Saints are playing better. Spencer Rattler might be a guy. He's not the guy, but he might be a guy. He has potential to, put some wins on the board for these guys, but I'm not a big fan of Caleb Williams, coming out. I have to give him his flowers. He showed me he can play a little bit, and that's on me. I took the route. Obviously, Bo Nix is the number one quarterback out of the 2024 draft class, but that's neither here nor there. I do think that the Chicago Bears will win this game, and I don't think it's going to be a close one. I'm probably going to take a few anytime touchdown scores out of the Chicago game just because I think there's going to be a lot of points being scored by the Chicago Bears. So, you're going to hit one of them. You know what I mean? Like a DeAndre Swift, a Roman Dunze, maybe a DJ Moore finally, a Colston Loveland finally, a Cole Kmet. Who knows? I'm going to take one of them, I think. So, and then Dolphins going into Cleveland. This is a bad game. I'm probably not even going to have this game on the TV anywhere because This game is. I don't even want, it's probably not even going to be a red zone because points will not be scored. This game is whatever I don't know what the points is, but I'm taking the under. Oh snap! I got my cat. My cat just rubbed up against me. I'll take the under. Hold on. Cyrus. Oh no. But anyways, that's Cyrus. He didn't want to be on camera, but he bumped into me anyways. Dolphins going into Cleveland. I got the Dolphins winning here, but honestly, it can go either way because both of these teams really suck, to be honest. And I feel bad because I really was a big believer in the Dolphins this year. So, yeah, Dolphins. What happened? I thought Tua was going to be back. I thought Tyreek Hill was going to be here, but obviously you see what happened to his leg. That was rough. But I do take the Dolphins to beat the Cleveland Browns going into Cleveland. And then we got Patriots versus Titans. This game might get out of hand. Drake May is playing pretty well. Big fan of him coming out of college. Not a fan of him when he was with Gerard Mayo. With him, with Josh McDaniels and Mike Vrabel, I mean, they got things humming. You know, they're going to be playing pretty well. I don't see them winning the division just because the Buffalo Bills. I mean, I don't see the Bills. Yes, they lost 2 games in a row, just like the Eagles did. You know, they're both 4-0 teams, last 4-0 teams, undefeated teams. But I do think the Patriots win here to go 5-2, and then the Bills. I don't see how the Bills lose this division, but I got the Patriots beating the Titans. But this game might get out of hand for the Titans. I'm sorry, Titans. Even though they just tried Bill Callahan, who knows? They might show up for the interim coach. Raiders versus Chiefs. Oh, boy, I would love the Raiders to be able to go into the Chiefs stadium and get a W. For the Broncos' sake, for the Nick Wright's sake, I could talk trash on him. The Chiefs are right behind the Eagles. These teams I like, the teams I like the least. So I really hope the Raiders do go win this game, but I am picking the Chiefs to win the W, just for my picks and just for my record for the year. And don't think it's gonna be convincing, but I hope the Raiders figure this out somehow. Eagles versus the Vikings. Are the Eagles gonna turn it around? I'm not too sure. I picked the Eagles in this game. I did. But then I'm thinking about it. The Eagles have lost to the Broncos and the Giants. Do things that both of these teams have. Great defensive lines. And the Vikings are not that far behind them. So, run the ball. Stop throwing the ball. Jalen Hurts. No disrespect to you, my boy. You are a decent quarterback, but you win games by running the ball. And that's not a slight on you, not a slight on the Eagles in general, just like A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. I'm sorry, you guys. I would trade one of them for assets to help the running game because I think their team is better when they can run the ball. But I do take the Eagles here, beating the Vikings. I don't love it. I don't love the pick because I do love Brian Flores' defense for the Vikings. But I got the Eagles winning here, and I'm not doing that as a lock because who knows? I don't know what Eagle team I'm going to get. I don't know. Maybe they're deflated. Maybe they're not there anymore. But I do have the Eagles winning and beating the Vikings. Panthers going into the Jets. Jets, you had -10 passing yards last week. I'm not saying much about you. Sorry, Brandon. I know our defense is really good. I'm gonna be at your house this weekend, Brandon. Hopefully they can beat the Panthers, but I got the Panthers beating the Jets here. Colts going into the Chargers. This game is gonna be good. I'm excited for this game because if the Chargers were a little bit more healthier, I probably would have took the Chargers, but just because of the health reasons, I got to take the Colts here. Danny Dimes going in, but they are going into LA. So, I mean, there's not really home field advantage in LA for the Chargers, but I do take the Colts here, beating the Chargers to go to 6-1 and beat it. Still number 1 top of the AFC, which is crazy to think about. Commanders versus the Cowboys. If you watch my locks, I'm taking the over on this game. I think there's been no defense being played, and I just think Dak Prescott's going to put the team on his back, and he's going to beat the Commanders, and it's going to be a good one. I'm super excited to watch this one. So I think the Commanders could win. I mean, but I'm a believer of the Cowboys right now, the offense versus the Commanders offense, and I think the Cowboys get the W here. And then we got the Packers going into Arizona. Now look, I was a big fan of the Cardinals coming into this year. And honestly, 2-3 plays, I would have a lot more confidence in them. But, like, I still have the confidence in them. Like, if I will not be surprised if the Cardinals beat the Packers. Like, I will not. But I'm not picking it. But I will not be surprised because they are 2 to 3 plays away from being 4-2 or, 3-3 or, even 5-1. Like to have a decent record. I think they're 2-4 right now, or 2-3 and something or whatever. But I do think the Packers get the W here, but I wouldn't be surprised. Will Michael Parsons finally show up again? I mean, the defense is looking They looked great against Detroit week 1. But like let's lock back in, Packers. People are picking your Super Bowl favorites right after week 1. Got that Packers high right off the back, but like I don't know anymore. So I wouldn't be surprised if Cardinals win. I am taking the Packers, though. Falcons versus 49ers. Everyone's seen the Falcons beat the Bills on Monday Night Football. I mean, and Bijan Robinson, if there's a person that's going to win an MVP that's not a quarterback, give this man the trophy. I mean, I think he's going to win Offensive Player of the Year. I don't see why he wouldn't. But he is a freak. And I think that's the only reason, and obviously the injuries on the 49ers, I'm taking the Falcons. Brock Purdy might be back. He's questionable, I think, still. So there's no confirmed yet on that one. But I am taking the Falcons to beat the 49ers in San Francisco. It's going to be a really good game. I'm super excited to watch that one. That's a 4:25 game, so that's going to be fun to watch. Or that's Sunday night. That's Sunday night. Oh, I like that. I think that's Sunday Night Football. I didn't write it down, but I think it is Sunday Night Football, so I'm super excited for that one. Bucks versus Lions. I mean, I think whoever wins this is the top of the NFC, I'm pretty sure. Or obviously with the Eagles and blah, blah, blah. But, like, if the Bucks win, they obviously still stay the top, and I'm taking the Bucks. I'm not going against Tampa Baker this year. He's locked in. Mike Evans might be back. Who knows? I just like the Buccaneers, man. They're fiery, just like my boy Baker Mayfield. Moxie, as he likes to say. Pat McAfee boys say. Yeah, Lions, because I think it'd be 2 straight. So like, are you gonna beat a good team, Lions? I don't know. So, but I got the Bucks beating the Lions here. I think it's gonna be a good game though. Maybe a field goal game. Maybe take the over on here too. It might be high scoring. I think it's gonna be a good game. So I'm locked in for that one. Texans versus Seahawks. I came into this season not really believing in the Seahawks personally, because like I thought Sam Darnold would be better on the Vikings, which I still believe that. I still think the Vikings blew it here. Like you lost Daniel Jones and you lost Sam Darnold. JJ McCarthy, not a believer in you. Carson Wentz played a little bit better last week, but I like the Seahawks beating the Texans. And the Texans, this might be the game where it's like, okay, they're not making the playoffs. They're not winning the division. And that's going to be a tough one to swallow because I think the Texans are better than what the record says, but they're just not getting the job done. So I got the Seahawks beating the Texans, and it's I don't think it's going to be close. I love the Seahawks defense. I love the Seahawks offense. Like, I really like the Seahawks beating the Texans here, and it might get ugly, honestly. And then your boys versus, you met Saquon last week. Your boys beating the Giants, and right after a London game where everyone's like, oh, offense sucks, Bo Nix. That's why I wore the Bo Nix jersey, because he needs me. He needs me to lock in. So I got the Broncos winning, and I'm probably taking them winning by 10.5. And that sounds crazy. 10.5. So that means they have to win by 11. Yes. That's what I mean. I'm taking the Broncos 10.5. And I might put 100, 150, something. I don't know. I might put something crazy on it. I don't think this game is going to be good. I think we're going to put Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo into his. Bring him back down. Bring him back down to earth a little bit, because we're coming. That defensive line, those outside linebackers, these Jonathan Cooper, Nick Bonito, Zach Allen, Malcolm Roach, Jonathan Franklin we're coming. Wazirike. Oh my God. The list goes on and on. The defense is insane. That's why we pay these boys. But that is the picks. Thank you for tuning in. I'm super excited for week 7. I think we got a lot of good games coming on this weekend. Chase it down the middle, latte. Have a good one.